Right, you ready? I'm excited because I don't know. This is just such a cool part. Graphs of patterns. I mean, come on. Aren't you excited? Bit of uke? Yeah, cool. So let's see where we get to on this. We got graphs of patterns, and we're going through this one example together today, and then you're going to work through this today and tomorrow. So, our example, we're considering two car rental companies. We've got Auto Hire and we've got Speedy. Rental rates are shown as follows. Auto Hire has got 100 Rand that you pay straight up, and then they charge 3 Rand per kilometer. Okay, then we've got Speedy. They charge 500 Rand up front. So if you don't even go anywhere, 500 Rand. And then 2 Rand per kilometer. Okay, so we've got kind of the idea of what the story is. And we're going to complete the table and then start working with these questions and making sense of this situation. So Auto Hire, if we don't go anywhere, how much are they going to charge us? Well, Auto Hire said 100 Rand initial payment. So therefore, we don't get anywhere, 100 bucks please. Okay, now if we go 100 kilometers, how much are they going to charge us altogether? And I said altogether there just to make sure we know. Well, it's 3 Rand per kilometer. So 100 kilometers at 3 Rand a kilometer, that's 300 Rand. Plus that 100 Rand that we already spent. So we've got 400 Rand. Okay, how much altogether are we going to be charged for 200 kilometers? Well, we've got another 100 kilometers. And for every 100 kilometers, it costs 300 Rand. So we charge another 300 Rand, so we're on 700. So I'm purposely pushing us towards not just going, well, let's start from scratch. We've got a bit of information. So let's say we go another 100 kilometers. We go 300 kilometers altogether. How much are we going to be charged? Well, another 300 Rand. So 1,000 Rand. So can you complete the rest of this table looking, and remember we're in patterns, right? So think patterns, complete the rest. Cool, so we're going up by 300s by the look of it. 300, another 300, another 300, another 300. Cool. Now let's look at Speedy. Speedy over here, remember, is this part here. So if we've got Speedy, we don't go anywhere. How much are they going to charge us? Well, if we've hired them and we don't go anywhere, I guess for an initial payment, we're paying 500 Rand to go nowhere. Okay, we got 100 kilometers. How much is Speedy going to charge us altogether? Well, they've got 2 Rand per kilometer, and we've got 100 kilometers. So 100 Rand times, 100 kilometers times 2 Rand is 200 Rand. On top of that, 500 gets us to 700. Okay, how are we going to fill in the rest of this table speedily? See what I've done there? Well, we know that we're going up by 200 Rand for every 100 kilometers. So let's just fill that in. 100, 1300, 1500, 1700, 1900. Just looking at those two tables, what sticks out as kind of something that's clearly a bit different, or what sticks out to you about the costs compared between Auto Hire and Speedy? Okay, well, I'll just see what you wrote there. I don't want to say, well, what stuck out to me? That's what I normally do, right? But I'm just going to see what you said and take it from there. Okay, now use your table to draw the graphs of distance versus cost for each of the two rental companies. Clearly label each of your graphs. Right. I'm going to give you a chance to do that and put a whip-de-doo or something when you've given it a go. Whip-de-doo, right? Whip-de-doo. So let's start with Auto Hire. I think I had them in red. So 0 was 100, and then we went 100, 400, etc. So 0 cost, what do we say? 100. It's probably easier if we could see the whole page at once. Okay, 100 kilometers was 400 Rand. So 400. Okay, then it kept on going up by 300. So then we went to 700. Then we went to 1,000. Now, as I'm doing this and as you did yours, what did you notice about the dots? What nice shape are they forming as you do them? Well, some sort of straight line, right? Look at it. There it is. So as we went here, I mean, I can kind of just guess that should have been there. 200, I think that's where we stopped. So it says jaw graphs. So we can fill these in because if we went 500, it would be sitting in between here. So let's draw this. Now, unlike me, you can actually use a ruler. I know that there's some ruler function here, but that's boring. Last thing before I draw auto hires is label it. So this one was auto hire, sorry. So let's label it auto hire so we know which one's which. And for speedy we went, this was 500, so it was way more expensive, but then it only went up by 2 each time. So 200, 200, 200. Oh, wait, is that right? That one looks the same. Oh, that's quite interesting, isn't it? 200, 200, 200. And so 800 we didn't know, but I'm kind of going to guess that it would be there, wouldn't it? So let's see, shapes. Do you back that I can try and figure out how to work these shapes? You're probably like, I don't know. Look at that. Magic, right? That is a bit better. Should have done that with the red one. Whatever. Okay, so let's see. What do we ask? How many kilometers would need to be traveled for the cost of hiring a car to be the same for both companies? How many kilometers? Well, that was my ooh, ah, la, la moment where I said, hey, look at that. Oh. Let's try that again. And look at that, right? So, I want to do it a different color. Oh la la, there we go. So it was at this point that they looked the same. It was here that everything looked the same. 400 kilometers cost 1,300. But how many kilometers? So it was 400 kilometers. There it was at that point. Okay, what else we got? Which company would be more economical if you were traveling 1,000 kilometers? Well, we don't have 1,000 on here, but looking at what our graphs are doing, which one do you think will be more economical? Well, it would have been nice if I labeled this thing, right? Because then I would have known which one this blue one. I want to go with the blue one. What is the blue one? Speedy. So speedy, I'm going to go with speedy. Now it was easier. See, useful to label your graph, right? Speedy. Which company would be more economical if you're traveling 400 kilometers? No, they're the same, right? So, like, they're the same. I don't know. Either. Oh, we'll put either in green. That is like for both of them, right? Losing my mind here. Here we go. Either. Do either. Okay, if you had a budget of 2,500 Rand, what distance would you be able to travel using auto hire? So, using auto hire, we got a budget of 2,500 Rand. How far can we go? Well, 2,500 is like over there. So, 2,500. Well, this was going up by 300 each time, right? So, 2,500, wouldn't that be at that 800 mark? Seems to fit in with our picture. So, I'm going to go with that. And look, the pattern, 1,900, 2,200, 25. Yeah, that seems to work quite nicely. So, we said 800 kilometers. Cool. Now, it wanted a whole lot of working out. Maybe we should have done some more working out. If you had a budget, what distance would you be able to travel using auto hire? I mean, we could probably work out a formula so we could work this out more accurately. But I'm just going to stick with 800. In the others, I think you asked to develop a formula first, like a kind of a TN equals a costing. Maybe that comes out just now. Okay, if you had a budget of 2,500, what distance would you be able to travel using Speedy? Okay, let's see what Speedy got for us. We're going along here, 2,500. Now for this one, I'm just going to do this the lazy way for now and go, well, 2,100 would be 800. 2,300 would be 900. 2,500 would be 1,000, right? Does that seem about right? You can go quite far. Jeez, another. So let's see. From 1900, you can go another 200, 300, 3. So you can go another 3. Yeah, 1,000 seems to make sense. And again, we're not kind of overthinking of do a formula first. That seems to work quite nicely. Write down general formulas for each company to calculate the cost of hiring a car for X kilometers. This is cool. So let's start with auto hire. So let's write auto hire so we know which one's which. Write down your cost. Okay, so the cost was, we started with an initial cost of 100 and then 3 rand per kilometer. So we started with 100 and then we added 3 rand per kilometer. And for the other one, Speedy, jot down your formula. Well, our cost was, what do we start with? I think it was 500 plus 2 rand per kilometer. Okay, let's head into our last question before you do the exercise. Use the above formulas to algebraically determine the distance for which the cost of hiring a car from each company would be the same. Okay, so it's saying algebraically. In other words, we can't just look at our graph here and go, there's the point where they're the same, where they intersect. Nice word, intersect. Or look at our table and go, there we go. We need to do this algebraically. So and I'm take my hint of leaving the previous question up there. What's your idea to solve this algebraically? Well, let's have a look here. Basically, we want to know, when is the cost of the one equal to the cost of the other? When is the cost of the one, auto hire, was 100 plus 3x? When is that equal to the cost of the other, 500 plus 2x? Look at that. One equation, one variable, x. Let's solve. So, I think we're doing quite well though. We got 3x, 2x, so let's subtract this 2x so that we don't have it there. We've got 0 at least. And we've got 3x minus 2x gives you x. Okay, equals. Why don't we subtract this 100 so that that's 0? What we do on one side, we do on the other. So on the other side, 500 minus 100 equals 400. And it looks the same as what we had before. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's just beautiful. I think it's time to head for some uke. What do you think? This is going to be awkward if you said no and you're like, then maybe it will be a... Enjoy. Goodbye.